Back with us once again, CNN's Dylan Byers and Maeve Reston. So Dylan, many have drawn, with this direct line from, what Gianforte did last night and President Trump and his war with reporters. Let's listen to some of the rhetoric from the president when he was on the campaign trail.
A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people.
I have a running war with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
And this crooked media, you talk about crooked Hillary, they're worse than she is. I'm telling you, they are so dishonest.
And, those first two sound bites were when he was president, not just a candidate. So it seems that those who disagree with that connection between Gianforte's actions and Donald Trump, they seem to be Trump supporters.
Yes, absolutely. And look at the reporting on the ground from our colleagues, Kyung La, Lauren Fox, too. They talk about what some of the voters are saying. Some are saying they actually like what Gianforte did. Others are saying, we didn't even listen to it. We didn't even listen to the audio. I mean, we knew it was out there, but we didn't care because it's just the liberal media. Mm-hmm. There's this conversation that's happening among people who follow the news industry, which is how can we bridge the sort of gap between all of those conservatives who don't trust the media and get them to start knowing that, we're acting in good faith with good intentions. Maybe you can't because they're not even listening. Yeah. I mean, from the second that it's not as if they're reading the article and considering it or listening to the audio and considering it. They're just not paying attention to it because they don't trust us. And this, by the way, you look at the tapes of Trump there, two things have happened. One, over the course of several decades, the conservatives have done a masterful job at capitalizing the waning trust in media among conservatives and using it to their advantage. But a second thing has happened, too, which is that on occasion, more than the media would probably like to admit, we have not told the story of conservative Americans, disenfranchised Americans who believe that they are losing their country. The story we have largely been telling is a story that is more or less in step with the arc of history as defined by Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. That doesn't mean we favor them to win. It just means that that sort of vision of a progressive future, a global future, and that is not one that resonates with so many conservative American voters. And so there is this chasm, and no one exploited it as well as Donald Trump did, and no one made it as violent and aggressive, sinister as Donald Trump did, and that laid the foundation for the sorts of incidents that happened last night.
And Maeve, you saw in that statement put out by Gianforte's campaign that they specifically and deliberately refer to Ben Jacobs as a liberal journalist. I mean, that's code, that's signal.
Right. Definitely. I think that, the idea or the case that Trump has framed is that there is this liberal media machine that's out there and is trying to take him down, is not reporting the real news. And so clearly those kinds of statements play off of that. I will say that it's difficult in this situation to generalize, and it will be even as we look at the results, because we also, our reporters on the ground, also got other data, which was that there were people going in saying they wanted to change their votes and telling, election officials that, and they weren't, they can't.
You can do that in some states. You just can't do it in Montana.
You can't do it in Montana. So I think that, that there are a lot of Republicans out there and Trump supporters who would not condone this kind of violence, but certainly some of the people who went to his rallies were far out on the extreme in really encouraging and shout, that clip you showed with Trump saying these are the most dishonest people, and you'd be standing up there on the press riser and everyone in the crowd would turn around and point and shout at you, and so
sinister.
That's the culture.
To your point about the conservative media, because what happened last night in Montana was played out very differently on the Trumpland part of the internet. For instance, Sinclair-owned Montana TV, they didn't even play the audio in Montana. We have a couple of tweets as well. Brent Bozell, founder of Newsbusters, he tweeted this: Jacobs is an obnoxious, dishonest, first-class jerk. I'm not surprised he got smashed. So that's theme number one, the guy deserved it. Theme number two is they dispute it ever happened. Mike Sinovich, a conservative blogger, tweeted this. The Guardian is fake news. I need videos. Simply will not take anyone working there at his word. We've been lied to countless times. Or just even question if it happened at all. The Gateway Pundit, another conservative outlet, wrote this. There is no video, in all caps, which is strange, but audio of the confrontation was uploaded on YouTube tonight. Wow. All of that is totally, completely wrong, but if this is where conservatives are actually getting their news from, this is their sources, no wonder they hate the media, or the mainstream media.
I mean, some conservatives, right?
Some conservatives, right?
I think there's.
And by the way, it's a topic for another day. But conservatives versus Republicans versus populists? Look. First of all, to respond to some of those tweets, specifically to Brent Bozell, Ben Jacobs is not obnoxious. He's not a jerk. He's a good guy. He's a well-intentioned reporter. He's not even a liberal reporter. The sort of the gall to use a platform that you have if you're Brent Bozell with that many followers and go out and make ad hominem attacks on the reputation of a journalist when there is audio, when the police did an investigation.
And the witnesses are from Fox News.
And then you have a team from Fox News, which is a conservative media outlet, 3 reporters and producers there on the ground who say, look, he grabbed him, both hands, threw him to the ground. Ben Jacobs never did anything wrong. I mean, it is so... I understand that there are some people in this country who are going to believe in conspiracy theories. But for someone like Brent Bozell to go out there and make these disingenuous ad hominem attacks on a well-intentioned reporter, there's such a decline of civility in this country right now. And I understand it. I get where it comes from, but it's so disappointing.
And in this case, I mean, detectives, determined probable cause existed to issue a citation for misdemeanor assault. It's not like this was, something that just is going to go away. I mean, this will...
He's going to appear in court.
So...
Okay.
There's facts.
I do wonder where it's all going to end up. I do find myself wondering that this climate, what happens next? What's the next step in all of this? Okay, time to squeeze in another break. Dylan and Maeve, thank you for staying with us because we have a lot more to get to. After the break, Donald Trump's son-in-law and closer